real good, ladies and gentlemen. You're back with your boy Skinny Jeans and
Tab the Tank.
And let's get it going because we got another craft beer for you today. This is called Incipient Open Fermented Sour Wheat Ale, dry hopped with Sombre and Chinook hops. This is from Speciation. I knew I'd screw it up. Speciation Artisan Ales. All right. First things first. Facebook off the tap, Instagram off the tap 2018. Make sure you head there because we do the majority of our posting of like all the beers that we're trying. Aside from doing reviews on there, we put like a brief description, like a fun little review.
All of our nude pics are there. Like.
Yeah, all of Tad's nudes are on there. Those are in a separate folder. Make sure you hit us up on Untapped and our Twitter account, which is Off the Tap too. And our email, we're looking for sponsors. So ding, 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 hit us up in those DMs. Or our email, offthetapgb2018@gmail.com. So
nailed it.
It was all right. It wasn't bad. It wasn't my best, but
it didn't flow like I wanted.
Solid. It was a solid effort out of my mouth.
Give it a 10.
10. Give it a 10. All right, so this place opened up in 2016 out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. I haven't smelled this beer yet, but I'm a little nervous.
Actually, I was nervous, but I'm also intrigued from what I've read. And I did smell it, and it doesn't smell like you think it's going to smell. I promise you that.
So, Mitch and Whitney Ermatinger, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, are the owners of this fine establishment, and quite frankly, they seem very hippie. Because reading their website, reading all the FAQs and everything, all of the ingredients that they use is like wild yeast.
So it does lead like they could be microbiologists or something.
It could be, yeah.
And we're just retarded.
So yeah, maybe they're not hippies. They're just nerds at that point. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So all of their creations are inspired by natural variations of species found in nature. So
that kind of goes back to like when we first started doing reviews and stuff, and like we were talking about like Beerland when we did the review for what the hell was it out there in California. Like she got with a dude that brewed beer and he fermented with a log because they had wild yeast in it.
Yeah.
So it kind of goes along that thing. Is like they just find wild yeast, like they can capture it from the air, they can capture it from leaves, wherever, and they just mess around with it. They must put it under a microscope or something and see how it reacts with different stuff.
Okay.
So that kind of, when it gets down to natural yeast like that, it kind of makes me feel like they're more microbiologists and nerds.
Yeah, so very smart.
Yeah. And
it's fun. It's fun to make fun of people as long as you're not being too harsh about it.
If you can't say you're a beer nerd and you brew beer, then...
Yeah, you're a beer nerd.
Yeah.
So they also make ciders, wines, and meads. I don't want to say the same exact way because it's not brewed, obviously, some of them, but they all natural, and I'm like, man... I mean, the color looks fantastic on this beer.
I feel like a lot of their stuff just deals with like basically the wild yeast strains is what they do, and then they kind of like they'll cultivate it like after they brew something. Like they could probably brew this beer again if they really wanted, because they'll just harvest the yeast and they'll reuse it in the next batch.
So one thing that I did learn was I didn't realize that when you're using natural yeast, it might not be good to drink unless it's above 2%. And it has a 4.5 pH or more.
Yep. There's a science behind yeast.
Yeah.
That's why I just buy packets.
Right?
I buy stuff I know what I'm dealing with.
Yeah. Well, what do you got for this one now that I just basically...
It's Sombre and Chinook hops, dry hopped. And then I really didn't even look at the ABV of this bad boy.
I didn't catch it either, honestly.
It's not even on the can.
We'll do some recon. Just start talking.
This is probably one of the most like simple cans you can get. There's not a lot of detail on it. Like I didn't even look at this. I thought it was just like some markings, but it's actually cursive saying what it's dry hopped with. And then it says wild and lab grown cultures. So that means everything they ferment with, and it says fermented. So their whole series of beers is basically revolved around the wild yeast.
Yeah, most of it is actually aged like 3 months or more.
So that means I feel like they gotta have a solid sour collection.
Yeah, for sure.
I gotta hit that place up. Like, I guarantee they have some decent stuff. But then again, like with wild yeast, like you could have more of that farmhouse ales and like those weird like mid-section beers. So it's gonna be interesting to taste this.
This is like a totally new for us, which is, I mean, we've tried quite a few different beers, so for something that's like this
I think I drank a wild one, like a wild ale before, but I didn't care for it. But this one, like, it smells alright. Like the other one had like a weird funk to it. This one has a funk to it, but it's not bad. I think the hops kind of balance it.
Yeah. Well, I found this was 5.5%, so nothing too crazy. We might as well try this then.
Give her a whirl.
Give her the beans.
That's different.
I like it.
There's a lot. That's complex. There's a lot going on in that flavor.
There is, but when I think of something, I didn't know what to expect, and this is definitely for drinkability. Don't let somebody that's getting into this style.
This is advanced.
Yeah.
There's a lot of complexity in that beer. Like there's a lot going on.
It's definitely got that puckerness to it though.
Yeah, like, and
cool.
it's not just the pucker up front. It's through and through, like
all the way.
All the way. That's definitely different. Way different.
I like it. I enjoy it. It's definitely, you can tell.
Like my jaw wants to lock over.
Yeah.
Like it's just like lingering there. Just like I can feel it wanting to, but it's not there. So it's not Kool-Aid pucker.
No, it's not. And there's something about it that does indicate in the taste that like this isn't something normal. That it's definitely brewed with like something wild, some sort of organism.
I feel like the flavor profile, like if I compared it to something, it'd be that Armor Roll or whatever we did. Like
the
unicorn one.
Amora,
like
I think it was Amora. Was that by Central State?
Okay.
Like,
with the unicorn on it. Yeah, that was. It's similar. It reminds me of a farmhouse ale. Like very similar to this beer does. Color too. It's what I expect.
Yeah, I thought it would be because it's almost like milky, creamier.
That's unfiltered. I got stuff floating around. Yeast cake.
I gotta be honest. I don't know if I can have more than just what like right now, because that's
like I couldn't do a 16 ounce of this. I'd get gut right. Like, that's no other.
Yeah, it's gonna make my stomach turn. But I mean, that's nothing against the beer. That's just my shitty stomach. But it's really good. Like I enjoy it.
Yeah. It throws your taste buds, like your whole mouth, just on like a roller coaster. It's like, what's going on?
I'd like to check this place out. I think Mitch and Whitney have got something really cool, something unique that you don't see at a lot of places.
Yeah,
typically you'll see a brewery dabble in this every now and then, but you won't see a brewery do this like for every beer.
Yeah, I think we recant. They're not hippies. They're beer nerds.
Yeah,
100% beer nerds.
Yeah.
Like under the microscope.
Yep.
Looking at stuff.
I take it back. I apologize.
Like that's 100% beer nerd stuff. Like I don't want to do that ever.
That sounds like way too much work.
Yeah.
That sounds like
I'd rather just pitch stuff and I'll do the culinary side of things and make my flavors work.
Right. Yeah.
Rather than have science do it for me.
Seems a little more simpler, but all right, ladies and gentlemen, keep her tuned.